And it is my promise to everyone here, when I am president, we will continue our fight for working families of America. Including to raise the minimum wage and eliminate taxes on tips for service and hospitality workers.
The news this hour, just a month or so before early voting begins in Pennsylvania, Trump heading to a rally there this weekend. Less than 2 hours from now, former President Trump will have an interview with Elon Musk live on Twitter. And now, after more than 3 weeks, Kamala Harris finally this week starting to release her policies. The only problem, it's a carbon copy of Trump's.
When I get to office, we are going to not charge taxes on tips. There will be no taxes on tips. No taxes on tips.
Are you going to make that an official line item in your economic plans?
Yes.
No tax on tips?
No tax on tips. Very simple.
Okay.
She's also expected to copy President Biden's agenda, too. Look who's here, joining us from Senate Commerce, Senator Marsha Blackburn. Senator, it's so great to have you on. So this question, if President Trump is so dangerous, as Kamala Harris keeps saying, why is she copying his policies?
She knows his policies are very popular, and she doesn't care what she says. She's going to read whatever they put on the teleprompter for her, and the goal is for her to win the election. So, Liz, it is just a discount anything that she says. Look at what she has done. Working families that she proposes to care about in Tennessee, they're spending $1,013 more per household just to tread water, by the same basket of goods that they were buying in 2020 before Joe Biden came to office. Kamala Harris was the deciding vote in the Inflation Reduction Act, in the American Recovery Plan, and those were budget busters, as we know, and has driven up inflation, which is a tax that people have to pay every time they go to buy something. Look at what she has done when it comes to energy. And she wants the Green New Deal on steroids, wants to end oil and gas, no more fracking, no more drilling. She wants to shut it all down. All of that cost working families money. People know that when Donald Trump was president, as one of my Tennesseans says, under Donald Trump, he had more money left at the end of the month. Under Joe Biden, he has too much month left at the end of his money.
You know, Senator, getting back to the taxing tips controversy, maybe the Trump campaign could get people to write on their restaurant receipts, this tip will be audited too, thanks to Kamala Harris, because she was literally the tie-breaking vote on Democrats getting about $80 billion more for the IRS to do more audits, including on tip income. Plus, the Biden-Harris administration pushed for this novel new IRS crackdown on tips to try to get the IRS inside the door at restaurants and bars to directly monitor tips at the cash register. You know, yeah, they said it was voluntary, but Senator, you know, nothing is voluntary in a system where you're guilty until proven innocent. So she's mimicking Biden on his agenda with gouging, corporate, greed. She's mimicking Trump on tax tips and taxing tips and the border, and more. So what is original in her platform?
There is nothing original. As I said, she'll read whatever is put on that teleprompter. And what we do know is this. If she had wanted to eliminate tax on tips, she could have done that. She could have said to Danny Werfel, the IRS commissioner, look, you better not be going after all these small business owners, after people who own barbershops and hair salons, people that should fall under that $400,000 threshold. But under Biden, oh no, they are going after them all. Okay. She should have said to him, we're not going to hire those 87,000 IRS agents, but she didn't do that. So, Liz, what we know, she has said that she would let the Trump tax cuts expire, the 2017 tax cuts. She's going to let those expire. That will be the largest tax increase on American citizens in our history. So she is a big tax, big spender sort of girl, and I don't expect her to change her ways.
You know, voters around the world are rejecting incumbent parties. 8 out of 10 U.S. voters think we're on the wrong track. That's the most since the 2008 financial crisis. There's been criticism of Donald Trump that he needs to stay on message. He needs to stay on policies and not, start to criticize Kamala Harris about her identity or her rallies, because voters are starting to see through Kamala Harris and the spin. She's trying to claim she's a transformative change agent. 4 years in the making. She's been the incumbent vice president in the White House for 4 years now. Why didn't she lower inflation, grocery prices, home prices, fix the border? She hasn't done that. Listen to running mate J.D. Vance for Trump and CNN's Dana Bash here. Watch.
Kamala Harris has been the nominee for 3 weeks. She hasn't sat down for a real interview.
Believe me, we are asking. You're not going to get a disagreement there.
But the point is, Dana,
Final word, Senator.
What we know is this: Kamala Harris is not going to give you any kind of idea what she's going to do. She's going to smile and giggle and wave and try to friendly her way to the White House without any kind of agenda. What we need to do, talk about the border, talk about the economy, talk about getting men out of sports, talk about people keeping the health care they've got because they like it.
Senator Blackburn, thanks for joining us tonight.